My proudest gaming moment? Not technically mine, but it is quite a proud moment, and you'll understand why once I've told the story, because why would you understand it before I told you? That makes no sense. Anyway, I teach karate to children, and every so often they go through an assessment. On the morning of the assessment, we do them by groups, so the beginners have theirs, and then the middle group have theirs, and then the big group have theirs. Well, you're not being assessed, you just take the group out to a different hall and just let them run about daft and play whatever kind of playground games they want to do. In this instance, they played a game where all the kids would line up at one end of the hall and there'd be one kid in the middle, and he'd say something like, you can only go past if you're wearing blue, or you have a green belt, or something like that. Whoever fits the criteria, they get a free pass, and then everyone else runs and the kid in the middle tries to catch him, and it's all in good fun, apparently, who knows. Anyway, the kid in the middle says, you can only get past if you play Minecraft, and without a second's hesitation, the entire row of kids just sauntered on past. I'm like, finally, I'm proud of you. Finally.
The only gaming moment I can think of in recent years where I've been really pleased with myself was at Replay last year in Blackpool, playing the Star Wars arcade cabinet. And it's kind of funny. I was there with a friend, Mark, and as I put my money in and started playing, he said, do you want me to video you? And I said, no, I won't last long here. Thinking I'd get to maybe level 3, 4 if I was really lucky, and there wouldn't be much to see. Only it didn't work out that way, and I don't remember, was it level 7 or level 9 or something? I got to like the highest level I ever got to playing Star Wars. Really pleased with myself. Just kept on going and going and going, and yeah, got a good score. Or even if the score wasn't good, just to survive that long, I was chuffed to bits. It was the best I ever did it, and I had a friend watching who could say, yeah, that happened. I was very pleased and kicked myself for not asking him to record it.
I actually have two really good proudest moments in gaming. The first would be completing my very first video game, and that was Super Mario World. When I got my Super Nintendo back in 1992. It took me 2 weeks to complete, and I think I just about finished it before we had to return back to school. And I remember beating Bowser for the very first time and showing my mum and dad the title credits coming up, and I was so excited, and it's probably one of the most memorable moments in gaming for me as well. And then I spent, well, a good 6 months ploughing through the game and making sure that I had found every single secret level there was to be uncovered, including the Star Road and the Special World, which was since replicated in Super Mario World 3D for the Wii U, which was nice. Which was a nice return, although it was just as hard as I remember it being in Super Mario World.
Right, I know this happened, but I just can't show any information on it because as a youngster I don't remember. But back in the day I used to get a magazine, and I don't know whether it was Mean Machines, Games Master, or CMVG. I used to get a ton of games magazines. Every single month I used to get my grandparents to buy me, and my mum or whatever. And I remember being in a magazine for a high score when you used to take a picture of yourself against the arcade machine. And I don't remember what age I was, probably about 12. We went to on holiday to Carmarthen Bay in Wales, to a caravan park, and they had a small arcade in there. One of the games they had in there was RoboCop, and I was mad on RoboCop at the time, and I remember playing this game to death, getting really, really good at it, learning the patterns, and I remember getting quite a huge high score on it. But I remember getting a really high score, and it was on the top of the table, so I got my granddad to take a picture of me with the machine, next to the machine, with my high score and my initials, which he did do. And at the time, you used to send them off to the games magazines, like to prove your high score, and I did do, and I got in one of the magazines for it. But I cannot for the life of me remember what magazine it was. I know there's something about little characters being drawn that's in the back of my mind, and I know Meme Machines used to do that. You know, like little cartoon characters of the editors and things like that. I don't know whether it was in one of them, but I was in some gaming publication with my picture in for a high score on RoboCop, the arcade. Wish I still had it, but I don't.
You know what I think possibly is, when I look back over the episodes we've done in Girlfriend Versus, when I think about what is my proudest gaming moment, is when we had NES Complex on. Yeah! And I had Boyfriend one side of me and NES Complex the other side. And there was something said about Mega Man.
You don't know what Mega Man is.
And I said, yes, I know who he is. He's blue. And they both went...
It's true.
Like that. I think that was quite a proud gaming moment where I kind of got recognised that I wasn't entirely ignorant to all of gaming, that I was starting to learn something through gaming with Boyfriend and NES that day.
I like it to be an achievement when I've completed a hard game. I mean, when the first time I completed R-Type, the Super R-Type, not R-Type, because I've never actually completed R-Type in one sitting, but Super R-Type, I was chuffed with that. Because that's a bloody hard game on the SNES, and I think I was happy with getting the maximum material level in Final Fantasy VII, and I went through the entire game, and it took hours, but I maxed up every single material. I got like a master material of every version, every type, every colour for each party member. It took ages. I had like a stable of gold chocobos. I put a lot of hours into just making my vision of how I saw the perfection of that game. And when I was massively overpowered with 9,999 and it was armed to the teeth, so I think I was very happy with that.
So there was this pub that we used to go to, me, Jamie and a bunch of others, and they had this golf game. I don't know if you remember the golf arcade game that had a ball, and you spun the ball to make the golfer swing the club and hit the ball. So one day we go in there, we're a bit jovial, had a couple of drinks and whatever, and the pub was the Village, I seem to remember, in Muswell Hill. So we go in there, and right to the back of the pub, that was where the arcade machine was. And I'm like, yeah, let's have a go on Golden Tee, I think it was called, Golden Tee Golf. So I go in there, put my pound in, and get a par 3, first hole. Yeah, I'm just quite casual about it. Bosh! Hit the ball, hole in one. My face and Jamie's face when I hit that, we were just jaws dropped. So the thing that made me proudest about it was the fact that we then went on to another pub afterwards. This was shortly after, maybe an hour or so. Went to another pub and they had Golden Tee as well. But this was the early days of networking, and what had happened was my hole in one was being replayed on another Golden Tee machine in another pub, which just blew our minds at the time. So that was a very, very proud gaming moment. A little bit unorthodox, but I'm sure you'll agree I was very happy.
Back in 2007, so around the time when we had Call of Duty 4 and Halo 3 come out, I was very much into esports at the time, and I had my own Halo team, and we entered a tournament on something called X League TV. When you got to sort of the finals, you would go to the TV studio, they'd pay for you to go, and you would face off in a LAN setup, and they would televise it, and it's quite a cool idea. The Halo 3 tournament was what we entered, and we actually managed to get to the semi-finals, which I was very happy with. I mean, we got beat by a pro team. I think it was VVV. But other than that, we smashed everybody, and I was very, very happy at the time. Still quite happy of us getting that far, to be quite honest.
Beating Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles on the NES. Cue that game. You.
I'd say my proudest gaming moment was the first time I achieved arcade crowd gathering adulation. You know what I'm talking about. The semicircle of worship that forms behind you that you're semi-oblivious to. You'll be playing a game that you know inside out. You've maybe got a console port of it, or you've just spent far too much money and far too much time in a smoke-filled, stinky arcade, perfecting that one game. Now, for me, that one game was either Virtua Cop 2 or Sega Rally. I had those both on the Sega Saturn. I'd literally sit there in my bedroom for days on end. Every single headshot, not miss a shot, not get hit by a bullet, do the whole of Virtua Cop 2 in one credit, then translating that skill down the arcade would always gather some interest from some keen gamers. Also Sega Rally, same thing, although when you're in a sit-down cab it's a lot more difficult to get a crowd gathered around you. Another time I have to admit to getting crowd adulation, the semicircle of worship, would be playing House of the Dead 2 with Mark down at an arcade on Oxford Street. We'd be playing House of the Dead 2 because we played it practically every single day. We would get several levels before even losing a life, and out of your peripheral vision you'd see one or two people gathering, calling over their mates. Before you knew it, you had the semicircle of goodness, and you'd never be able to tell your parents what great achievements you'd done that day. You couldn't go home and go, Mum, I had 12 people around the arcade today. Your mum just wouldn't understand. She just wouldn't understand.
My second proudest video game moment would be when my video game channel, the Easter Egg Hunter, also known as Chipsters, reached 100,000 subscribers. And we got an award. YouTube dish out awards when you get 100,000 subscribers. And here's mine. And it has the Easter Egg Hunter written on it. And to have an award for, you know, making videos about your love for gaming is kind of insane, really. But just, I'm so honoured to have one of these, and I can't thank everyone enough for being a part of my channel. It's great to share my passion with the YouTube gaming community and meet new people and talk about games that we all love, and share our hobby with each other, and talk about the past and the future and what's to come.